The journey for research starts from clinics. And research and publication is not the prerogative of only educational institutions or research associations or government agencies. Homeopathy stands the scrutiny of this kind of a review means we are at par with the scientific world, and that is what the final aim of publishing is, to show the world that homeopathy is a scientific system of medicine. Don't let the knowledge or the experiences which the clinician has in their clinic to remain at the clinic level. Let the world learn from them.
Welcome all to another episode of HomeoMitra Vartaalap. With us, we have today Dr. Nikunj Jani. He is the head and editor of JISH. If you haven't already seen his videos, I'm going to leave a link to all the videos that he has had, both on HomeoMitra as well as on JISH. Good amount of educational videos about scientific writing and also on repertory. You can watch it before this video, you can watch it after this video, but do watch it. Sir, about today's topic, congratulations on JISH being indexed in EMBASE.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you for having me on HomeoMitra. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And yes, EMBASE, getting indexed in EMBASE is a happy moment for all of us at JISH. One is because it helps, our work is now getting acknowledged. For last 6 years plus, the journal has been functioning. And yeah, getting into EMBASE is a good moment. And it also will help us look again of what we have been doing and aim for maybe higher agencies and continue doing the work which we have been doing. So yes, it's a moment of little happiness for us.
Right, sir. So before we delve into the intricacies and the technicalities of what is EMBASE, which is basically a sort of an indexing, if you could just tell us, for someone like me who is not much into scientific writing, for me these are all very technical jargon which I would not understand. So if you could just tell us what exactly is indexing.
See, if say you like to eat good food, like somebody like me, I like to eat good food. So the gold standard for a good food is Michelin star. When you go to a Michelin star restaurant across the world, India does not have Michelin stars, but we have our own variants as well. So, but across the world, if you see, Michelin star is considered to be a standard when it comes. So there is a 1-star, 2-star, and a 3-star restaurant where the whole idea is 3-star Michelin means that you will travel across the globe to go and eat at that place. Why is this done? It's not that one restaurant is bad or the other one does not make good food, but there is a certain category, there is a certain criteria, and there is a certain quality. When somebody says it is 3-star Michelin, means when a person walks into that, you are probably assured that you're going to get a certain standard. Same is with the indexing of the journals, that when you are indexing in certain agencies which are giving these kind of indexing process, you are assured that this journal represents certain amount of standards or a quality which is associated with it. Because at the end of the day, when a medical journal or any medical specialty journal is getting indexed, the end result is going to be, these findings are going to be applied to the patient. So when this patient's life and the health is at stake, the quality has to be the most stringent. And that is why these agencies are there. So when a journal, so the journal always starts with a non-indexed journal, because obviously you start your journey and you follow these processes from day one, that you will have certain quality checks, you will have certain amount of technical requirements which you need to do. And then you eventually, over a period as you start publishing, you will maintain them through the year, irrespective of whether you are indexed or not indexed. And then you submit yourself to the evaluation which is done by these agencies themselves at their end. And that's how you get into the indexing process. And then the sky is the limit. This is just the first step of a journal. There are many bigger indexing agencies also. So yes, EMBASE is a step. You go to the next step, and you keep improving yourself, you keep upgrading yourself.
Right, sir. So I think this is so far simplified. If all of you have any questions, please mention them in the comments. And of course, like I said, I'm going to leave a link of the older videos in the description so you can watch them as well. So, sir, what are the top indexing agencies?
See, like there are a lot of these indexing agencies which come, and you will see if somebody refers. So these, like, there is like Medline, there is PubMed Central, there is EMBASE, which we are indexed. There is Scopus, which is supposed to be a very, very high indexing agency. And then there is Ibasco, Index Copernicus. These are the kind of indexing agencies which are existing. There are certain guidelines wherein how many years of publication will allow you to approach indexing agency. So it's not that I just publish for a year and I can go for PubMed Central or something like that. So you need to have certain years of it. It's clear-cut defined years or whatever the criteria is. You need to first meet those criteria and then apply for indexing in these journals. So because then you have assured that the journal has run a continuous publication, the issues are on time. There's a lot of other technical stuff also which is there. So yes, these are the top agencies which I said where a journal when is indexed in this, one gives value to the author's work. Number two, it carries a lot of value as an indexing agency also. And when you say that my article is published in these journal which is indexed in these agencies, means the opposite person also understands that you have been doing a lot of good work as well. So it's a win-win for everyone.
So which means if a journal has to be indexed, there are certain criteria that a journal has to follow, and there is some sort of a compliance or a what do you call statutory requirement.
Yes.
You have to fill up those forms, and it's not going to be something which is very.
No, I will not make it very forms or kind of thing. But yes, you are saying that there are certain standards, and the standards are ranging from right from the frequency of publication. Are you on time? The peer review processes which you follow, whether they are in place. What is the editorial board which you have? Who are the people who are doing it, or it is a sham, or there is, you can create a lot of things in today's era, but it might not exist. So it is stringent, and the kind of articles which you are publishing, what is the work which you are publishing, how good is the technical aspect of what you are publishing, the language, all of it. So there are multiple factors, but yes, it is all checked before you get into an indexing agency.
So sir, does this mean that if an article is published in an index journal, it sort of holds a higher value compared to something otherwise?
Absolutely, it does give. Very important is when you have these journals. Say I have written a case report, and I'm a practitioner. Forget I'm not an academician at all. I'm a practitioner. I'm a young postgraduate student who has seen in my training. Or you may be a person who is into academics, irrespective of whatever the field is. You are into homeopathic practice. You see a good case report and you want to share it with the world because you feel that you have made significant amount of you have results and the world can learn from your results. So you share your results. Now when I publish it into a journal, see, publishing is important. So you choose that I don't bother about these kind of indexing agencies and I will publish in whatever journal will accept it. That's fine. That's an individual's choice. But if I want to send it to an index journal, what it does is this will give you value because the stringent quality will be maintained. There will be a streamlining which will be done. Number two also is when you're looking at promotions. So if you're looking at, as an academician, you are looking at promotions. The article, if it is not published in an index journal, it does not stand in your list of articles you submit for a promotion. You're applying for a government job. Places where there are government jobs. So you're applying for a higher posts, the bigger posts or administrative posts also. You need a certain amount of criteria. Or if you're a PhD scholar who's doing a PhD thesis, you cannot publish it in random journals. You will need index journals only to publish your work of PhD. And the most universities have a stringent statutory need of certain amount of articles which need to be published in peer-reviewed journals. So that is one. If you're a student who's doing MD, your dissertation, you will have to publish it in a peer-reviewed journal. Now, most universities are not so stringent when it comes to the MD level. But still, it's a brownie point that my article has been published in a journal which is indexed in these kind of agencies. So yes, this is very much value is definitely there and the recognition comes out of it as well.
So sir, one question on the tangent, only if it is relevant, if you find it relevant. When we Google something or we put a certain search term in the search engine on the internet,
Right.
Is it so that the index journals or the content of the index journal ranks higher? I'm not sure whether this
No, okay, this is actually a very good question.
Ah.
Most people say that we are a part of Google Scholar. Now, Google Scholar is a part of Google which we use for scholarly articles. You don't use Google for random search for your scholarly articles. So there is Google Scholar. Now, Google Scholar is not an indexing agency, but it is a repository. So a journal which is published in any science, or for that matter, why only medical sciences, all the other sciences and even literary areas, Google Scholar takes all those articles and puts it into their repository. So if I am a student or I am a researcher who is looking for it, I would find Google Scholar is my advantage because it gives me a lot more articles to refer from. But that is also its biggest plus point. Also, it is negative point because there is too much of data which comes to me. But Google Scholar is not an indexing agency. It's a repository. So a journal which is published in any science, or for that matter, why only medical sciences, all the other sciences and even literary areas, Google Scholar takes all those articles and puts it into their repository. So if I am a student or I am a researcher who is looking for it, I would find Google Scholar is my advantage because it gives me a lot more articles to refer from. But that is also its biggest plus point. Also, it is negative point because there is too much of data which comes to me. But Google Scholar is not an indexing agency. So now, say if you use, we all use Google as a search engine, but then most of us are not bothered about what is happening or what is the data being collected or whatever reasons which are there. So we are most comfortable with it. There are certain people who have preference of using Bing as a search engine. There are certain people who use Safari, the Apple's engine, or some people who use DuckDuckGo. Now, why does somebody use DuckDuckGo? And you ask them, what is your preference? It's all individual preferences, and all of them are good. At the end, so far, for a normal people like us, anything is fine, which as long as it gives us our what we are looking for. Now, somebody would say DuckDuckGo privacy levels are much better. Not that Google does not have them, but then you do not, the ads are not targeted, or so people have preferences. Now, when I am referring to Google gives me a lot of data, but it is not an indexing agency, it's a repository. So having a journal being a part of it's in the abstract is a part of Google Scholar. So if you look at our journal website also, JISH is abstract in Google Scholar. So you will find JISH articles existing in Google Scholar when you put a search in Google Scholar, but it is not an indexing agency, because Google Scholar does not go too much of the standards or the quality. You're a journal, you're doing this certain amount of things, you have a certain statutory need of a number, or the ISSN number, or you're recognized, you're a valid publication, they will put it into your repository. So that is where it ends.
So basically, Google Scholar is a different website where you need to go to that website and search within that search engine. Like
yes. So if you have a Google page, you can go to Google Scholar. You can there is a section when you drop over there. So it's like a separate search engine for scholarly articles. So you will not get movie tickets or around me, but it will only be for your scholarly articles in all the fields which is there.
So this is interesting. Tell me how many of you already knew this, because common mistakes as a doctor when I do now I recall is that when I want to search some reference for a scientific article, I just go to the Google search engine and search, and then I am at loss. Why am I not able to get that article? Probably I was searching in the wrong place.
Right. So yes, possibly most of us do that. Like it's accessible, so we don't need to go to Google Scholar and we do that. But yeah, the Google Scholar will give you all the scholarly articles from various sources. So that's a much better way of referring them also.
Great, this was really helpful, and yes, do let me know in the comments if you find this helpful so far. So sir, in India, let's say when it comes to homeopaths, which journal do you think is the most accepted one in terms of indexing?
See, there are a lot of journals which are indexed in these agencies in homeopathy also. Now, the National Medical Commission recognizes journals which, for say promotions or for appointments or for recognizing this as standard, they are journals which are indexed in, as I said, the early agencies like Medline, Scopus, PubMed, EMBASE, and of course there is a Science Citation Index which is there expanded. So these are certain and Indus Copernicus. So these are agencies which the National Medical Commission recognizes is that an article published in this is a valid publication, and it may be credited to the author, a student, researcher, or whatever. So same rules apply for most of the homeopathic journals, or for that matter, even all the Ayush journals also. So these are the standard indexing agencies wherein your journal, where if it is indexed, it is a very valid thing. So this is the accepted article for it. So yes, we follow the same thing.
So then does this mean that a homeopath can publish in any journal which is not a homeopathic journal also?
Absolutely.
But indexed?
Yes, you see, a homeopath can choose to send their data in any of the top journals of the world, not pertaining to their science, but it could be a journal of medical science. They can send the data. See, the thing is, whether it is now the journal's prerogative, whether they want to take this article or a manuscript which you send to them for review, or they reject it outrightly, because there are certain journals who may not have a reviewer base for homeopathy. So even if they want to, they are not able to do it because they will not be able to do a peer review process. So if a journal accepts, and you will see a lot of homeopaths who have, and quite senior homeopaths who have published their cases in a lot of reputed journals which are indexing these bigger agencies, and they are not only dealing with homeopathy, but they are dealing with other medical specialities also, and they have been able to publish homeopathy there. I would say it is a much an achievement, because they must have gone through the rigor of the peer review of that journal, and knowing the quality of those journals, they go through an extensive peer review. So yes, if homeopathy stands the scrutiny of this kind of a review, means we are at par with the scientific world, and that is what the final aim of publishing is, to show the world that homeopathy is a scientific system of medicine. And that is why the whole struggle is to establish and let the world know, because lot of times you see a lot of allegations done against homeopathy, and these publications help us to nullify these allegations and say that we are standing the scrutiny of the science, and this is where we are able to produce an evidence-based document which shows that homeopathy is acting as a system of medicine.
Correct, sir. So far I gather the benefits are that it holds the utmost professional standard when it comes to presenting data
Right.
To the scientific community, and also for reference for the layman.
Right.
Are there any other benefits that I'm missing in this?
As I said, the recognition, of course, the perks of you getting promoted, or your articles which are there, a part of it, the checking which is done. So all this gives you a lot of credibility as a researcher, as a teacher, as a practitioner. Yes, it adds on to your body of work also. So yes, these are the biggest benefits which are there, and you contributing to the science is, I think, in a very, very standard way, and helping for the science to be more scientific. I think that is probably the greatest gift which the happiness which you would get to give back to your science in the form of publication, or publishing your work. I think that is paramount.
So, sir, this was very informational, very useful, and I would not say I am a know-all person, but so far as I understand, this is a very unique topic. So far, not covered. And do tell me if this was covered somewhere else. I'm more than happy to see the links and content in the comments. Sir, any take-home message for homeopathic doctors for today's Vartaalap?
The take-home message is only one, please. The journey for research starts from clinics. And research and publication is not the prerogative of only educational institutions or research associations or government agencies. It is the practitioner who actually contributes to the research. So if you have cases with you, just get, the internet trains you in everything. So go to the internet, there are videos which tell you how to write a case report in a structured manner, or how to write your scientific article in a structured manner, and prepare a manuscript and send it to the journals. Don't let the knowledge or the experiences which the clinician has in their clinic to remain at the clinic level. Let the world learn from them. So I think that is the message which I give, that all of you all should contribute to the science in a much better, more than what we've been doing right now.
True, sir. I agree with you, and I tell you the wealth of knowledge that Dr. Nikunj has in this particular field, because he has created a journal out of scratch, and hoping that he will someday pass on this knowledge in the form of a formal curriculum, a formal course. Someday we will have a formal course on scientific writing.
Sure. In the course as such, but yeah, we would definitely love to share our ideas. Whatever we have learned, it's a more of an hands-on experience, on-job kind of training, because we've not learned this subject in a structured format. But what our experiences are, if they can help others learn it in a structured manner, yeah, we would love to do that. Eventually, maybe someday in future, we will try and create a structure, and so that the world can learn from it in a much better manner. So we're working on it. Let's see how it goes.
Great. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of today's Vartaalap and sharing such good information with all of us.
Thank you, Keyur. Thank you for having me here. Thanks.